Greetings, adventurers. This is DM Kurt, and I'm wearing a very lucky shirt. It says lucky. And cat leprechaun on a unicorn llama with, yeah, all right, clovers and stuff. Right on. This is what happens when you have $3 or $4 in your pocket as you walk past the clearance aisle the day after St. Patty's Day at Walmart. I thought it was hilarious. Hey, you know. But luck is the topic of this video. So, if you have been playing 5th edition D&D or you're familiar with it, you may be familiar with the lucky feat on page 167 of the player's handbook. Essentially, if you take the lucky feat, you have inexplicable luck that seems to kick in at just the right moment. You have 3 luck points. You can use them as rerolls. So you get 3 rerolls every day, recharges after a long rest, which is essentially every day. That's one way of doing it. And I have heard people complain that the lucky feat is overpowered. A couple of ways to do that is to make sure that long rests only count as resting for a full week. Short rests are resting overnight. That'd slow it down. Or maybe we find some other way of looking at luck. Now, I've been listening to Dungeon Musing on YouTube, and he's running a number of games with his actual plays. But one of them is 2nd edition D&D's campaign Night Below, written by Carl Sargent. It's a great campaign. I've ran it twice. He's running it this time using Castles and Crusades. Castles and Crusades really fits with the feel of 1st and the 2nd edition D&D. Got the Ascending Armor class of more of a 5e kind of thing, where every roll you try to roll high. You don't have to calculate subtraction. It's all die roll plus this. Do I make that? Okay, cool. But it still has that old school feel, which I like. Anyway, so he's using something called luck points and hero points. So luck points in Castles and Crusades are an optional rule from the Castle Keeper's Guide. And what they are is, at the beginning of a session, your character rolls 1d6 plus their highest attribute modifier. Doesn't matter which attribute it is, just roll your highest one. Okay, cool. So you might get 6, 7, or 8 luck points. Now, on the face of it, hey, that's 8 rerolls. That's awesome. It's not. It's not rerolls like 5e doing. So, you can spend up to 6 of your luck points at any given time. And you can use them to add on to one of your attack rolls, saving throws, ability checks, or subtract 1 to 6 points, luck points being a 1-to-1 exchange rate, on an enemy's attack roll, an enemy's saving throw, or potentially an enemy's ability check. So if you're fighting some tremendous monster and your spellcaster throws that last ditch spell and the monster barely makes it save, you can say, it makes it by 2, huh? I'll spend 2 luck points so that it fails, because we need this. And there you go. And these will recharge every session. Now, that's not necessarily overnight, over a day, over a long rest, because you could be playing a 2-hour session, a 6-hour session, whatever it is. And your characters may have multiple days in that session, or they might have multiple sessions over the events of a single day. That's very stretchy. That's different. It's a little more meta, but that's okay. You can adjust that at your table. No big deal. You could have it to where it's 1d6 plus modifier for every character day, recharging at a long rest. You could. Hero points. Now, this is an additional thing. You start off with 2, and each one are essentially a full-on reroll. Or you spend 2 of them for, I will make this roll, don't bother rolling, I need to make it. Just spend both of them. They recharge far slower, and you get far fewer of them. So you'll get one of these, start off with 2. You'll get one of these if you go up a level. You'll get one of these as a mission complete bonus for the end of an adventure. And they tend to only, there's As per the book's suggestion, they should only recharge if you use them in a manner appropriate to moving the story forward. Not just for selfish things, little things, petty things. Now, they have suggested that hero points can also be traded in for garnering a crucial piece of information. So if you're flat out stuck and the story needs to progress, you can just goad the castle keeper, or DM if you're playing a D&D based game. You can goad the referee, the marshal, the whatever, into saying, hey, look, we are flat out stuck. I would like to buy a clue, please. And you can literally buy a clue by spending one of your hero points. Now, what's a little different with what Castles and Crusades are doing is that you can use your luck points or hero points to aid any of your friends, whereas the lucky feat just applies to you, the character, and your own rolls. Interesting choice. Now, I've also been listening to an actual play of Deadlands, which I want to say is done by the same guy. But anyway. And what he was doing was something called Cursed Spanish Gold. Now, Deadlands is a Weird West setting where you have gunslingers, and it's the 1870s, and you got, also this magical thing going on where there's zombies, there's Indian shamans who can do stuff, there's people who are studied the occult, but you're in the Wild West setting, but it's a little weird. This mechanic called Cursed Spanish Gold is you get these essentially luck points and you spend them. You'll have a handful of actual coins in front of your sheet and your dice and all that, and you'll throw coins into the pot. And when you do that, you get a reroll on a die roll or a bonus like that. It should work the same as luck points from one of those two games. But the curse is that when you spend one of these luck points, it goes into the DM's pile, the marshal's pile, because it's the Wild West. You can run them, the marshal's running the place, right? Okay. And then the marshal gets to use those luck points for the bad guys. Once he's used those for the bad guys, they are nullified and they're out of the game. So that's an interesting mechanic. I am considering that depending on where my party goes, I might award them some sort of meta currency like that. Because we're playing 5e, I don't think they really need it, but it might be interesting to play. Anyway, that's me talking about luck. Have yourselves a lucky day. DM Kurt.